Hi, my name is Crystal Olivaria, and I'm the Career Conversationalist. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're here to talk about what do you do when growth becomes stagnant? How to model nature without a forest fire. Avoid total burnout and destruction with controlled burns. Learn to look forward to positive effects of clearing out dead wood. Have you heard the popular saying that you are either growing or you are dying? The saying implies that if you are not growing, then you are dying as a default option. There is no other option for being in a phase of growth. However, growth usually does not stop immediately. Stage of stagnation that happens before decay begins. Do you know how to identify the warning signs of stagnation? Do you know what to do to stop stagnation and continue with growth? Do you want to know how to prevent stagnation? Do you want to know how to help ensure that your child has a bright future by continuing to grow instead of becoming stagnant? Discover how to model nature without a forest fire. The environment your child lives in can be favorable and easily allow your child to grow, or it can provide challenges that lead to stagnation. Think of your child like a tree in the forest. In an environment full of dead wood, your child has to compete for sunlight with large dead trees. If large dead trees were not around, then your child can bask in the sunlight and grow quickly. In nature, forest fires are a way of clearing out the old dead wood to make room for new trees to grow. No one likes a forest fire, but it is a part of life and it plays an important role in the cycle of life. There are a lot of things we can learn by observing nature. Rather than fearing fire and being burned by it, we can learn to understand it and the role it plays in sustaining life and growth. In your child's day to day life, your child may be living in the shadows of old dead wood or ideas and ideals that are hindering his or her growth. For example, your parents or your child's grandparents may bask in the memories of the good old days, where a person worked for one company their entire life and the retirement plan consisted of a pension plan. Consistent conversations about the past crowd out room for new conversations regarding the present and the future. In a world where pension plans for life are no longer given out, it is easy to see how these old ideas can be considered dead wood. If your child spends a lot of time in this environment, then your child may begin to spend a lot of time longing for the good old days. If your child adopts these beliefs as his or her own, then your child will stagnate because he or she will be focused on the past rather than moving forward in the present to the future. Do you see how old dead wood can hinder your child's growth? Do you understand why it is important to clear out the old dead wood so your child has room to grow? How do you clear out old dead wood that has been created in an environment that is prohibiting your child's growth? Forest fires are nature's way of clearing out an area of old dead wood to provide a rich environment for growth for new young trees. Fire is an element that can be uncontrollable and create a lot of destruction. Fire turns an environment into black ash. Due to the potential destructive nature of fire, we have been taught not to play with fire. Therefore, it is easy to understand why you probably do not want to argue with your parents to clear out old dead wood ideas and ideals to make room for family conversations that explore new ideas. Your parents may not understand why you want to consistently change the direction of conversations to provide a different environment for your child to grow up in. Constant changing of the direction of conversations can ignite fiery arguments. I have irritated family members by changing the direction of conversation. Many of my family members talk about finding a safe, secure job with benefits. To me, my family continuously talks about old ideas that have lived past their time. To me, these are like dead old wood that is preventing me from living in an environment that supports growth. I believe these ideas and ideals are dead because I do not see companies offering pension plans. I see that the safe and secure government jobs that have long been coveted have become unsecure. I have seen mandatory furlough days and employees not get paid, as well as people being laid off. While I see the ideas and ideals of a safe, secure job as something of the past, people who still believe in these ideas and ideals are ready to fight for them. It's like a lot of dead wood laying around waiting for a spark to ignite a forest fire. When it happens, watch out. The longer the old dead wood ideas and ideals have ruled the land, the more fuel for the fire there will be. The more fuel and anger, the hotter the fire will burn, and the more intense arguments will be. Rather than getting burned by arguing, I am aware of my environment and I leave before there's a raging fire. I don't wait around until lightning strikes and starts a fire. I know once an argument starts, it can rage out of control quickly. I don't put myself in harm's way. Instead, I practice preventative measures. I observe my environment. If I see a lot of old dead wood that is fuel for a fire, I know that it is not an environment I do not want to spend a lot of time in. I know people who talk about old dead wood ideas and ideals will hamper my growth if I stick around. So I leave anytime I find myself in a conversation with people who enjoy overindulging in the good old day conversation dominated by old dead wood ideas and ideals. While at a family function, I will leave a conversation to get something to drink or eat or find someone else to talk to. Personally, I find it easier to leave an environment of old dead wood than it is to endure a forest fire argument. If you and your child are at your parents' home, then you may leave. If your parents are at your home, you may want to invite them over less often. Avoid total burnout and destruction with controlled burns. The best way to prevent a wild, raging fire is to start small, controlled burns. In other words, the best way to prevent a situation from escalating to a dangerous level is to address challenges while they are not severe. A fire can turn wild when there's a lot of dead wood to fuel the fire. The best way to control a future fire is to control the amount of fuel or dead wood. By clearing out the dead wood with controlled burns, the combustible material present is reduced. Burning dead wood turns it to ash, and that becomes nutrient for the soil, which will house the next generation of trees. One of the ways I start a controlled burn conversation is by presenting an idea in an educational but conversational way. For example, I told my mother that with automation, there will likely be less traditional jobs. People who want employment are either going to have to compete with each other for fewer traditional jobs, or they're going to have to learn how to go out on their own and become self-employed. While hearing statements like this irritate people like my mom who strive for a safe and secure job, it does demonstrate that they have a choice. Your child has the choice of getting a traditional job or creating his or her own via the self-employment route. Over a long period of time, having these controlled burn conversation depletes the combustible material available and prevents a raging forest fire conversations. At the time of crafting this post, my mother currently sets appointments and helps fields workshop for teachers interested in retiring soon. With organizations looking to save money and adopt technology that automates the workflow process, my mother is well aware that her job will likely be automated and eliminated within the next 2 years. My mother has gone back to school and she's trying to figure out her next career move. My mom could be really upset that she has worked for the same employer for 30 years and she could expect them to find her another position within their organization. My mother could easily be a raging wildfire, fueled by old dead wood ideas and ideals. However, I believe that the ongoing controlled burn conversations we have helped to burn some of that anger over a long period of time. Rather than spending a lot of time consumed with anger, she has let that anger burn and turn into ash. My mother is exploring career ideas, and the ash is providing nutrients to the soil where seeds she planted for her next potential career move will grow. If it wasn't for automation, then my mother would probably be stuck in her old ways. Since my mom knows she will need to apply for other jobs, she's being proactive by attending activities that will help keep her employable. My mom wants to become a better speaker and be able to speak on her toes easily so she can confidently handle questions asked during interviews. My mom regularly attends a local Toastmaster group to gain practice speaking more confidently. My mom started attending these events as a guest, and I have watched her take on a managerial role and learn how to manage. At the time of crafting this post, my mom is the president of a local Toastmasters club. Side note, I have mentioned to my mom that she can include Toastmasters on her resume and discuss it further during interviews. Also, by attending Toastmaster meetings, my mom is learning and practicing networking skills. As a result, she spends more time networking in general. My mother has learned that the County Office of Education that serves multiple school districts is looking to update their system with automated systems that will eliminate other job positions besides her own in the near future. My mom has acknowledged that looking for a job is challenging when you are wondering if the job you are interested in applying for will be eliminated soon because of automation. Having acknowledged this, my mom has learned to ask better questions about what types of jobs and job duties will not easily be automated and will be the most safe and secure. Out the dead wood ideas and ideals, my mom has room to grow and she spends time engaging in conversations. Interestingly, many of these conversations are about who is planning on retiring soon and what job positions will open up as a result. Retirement parties have taken on a new meaning. Learn to look forward to positive effects of clearing out dead wood. Clearing out dead wood is similar to clearing out clutter, but better. Clearing out clutter usually involves getting rid of things. It usually involves a donation pile, garbage bag, and a delete button. Getting rid of clutter feels great. There is room to breathe, and it is easy to feel in control of your environment and life. Clearing out dead wood is a different process. When dead wood burns, it turns to ash. The dead wood that prevents growth turns into ash that then nurtures growth. Rather than getting rid of something, the process transforms it. While the process is intense and may be uncomfortable, it is very life-giving. When I think of fires, I like to think about sequoia trees, which are also known as giant redwoods. These trees can live to be thousands of years old, and they are massive and beautiful. However, they need fire to produce the next generation of trees. Fire clears the area of other trees and creates a nutrient-rich soil for the sequoia seeds to grow. Sequoia trees grow pine cones that contain their seeds for reproduction. The sequoia pine cone falls on the ground and needs the heat from fire to open the cones to release seeds. In order for the parent tree to be around to watch their children be born and grow, the parent trees need to be able to withstand forest fires, and they are remarkably. To observe these beautiful, enduring trees, please watch a short video by National Geographic on Yosemite sequoia fire. What we can learn by observing nature is a fire can be destructive and life-giving at the same time. A fire clears out the old to make room for the new. While many of us want the new great things in our life, we are often resistant to clearing out the old. By holding on to old things, we let fuel accumulate into large quantities, and then we get burned and hurt when we encounter a spark of intense heat. For many years, this country has had the policy to put out forest fires as quickly as possible. As a result, the fuel on the ground accumulated. What would once have been a small, naturally controllable fires would turn into massively destructive fires. The immense amount of fuel that had accumulated and caught on fire would make fires burn hotter, longer, and therefore became more destructible. To prevent wild, uncontrollable destructive fires, we changed our policy and have allowed nature to produce small, naturally occurring fires that act as controlled burns to transform old dead wood into nutrient-rich soil. We can learn from this that the small arguments and confrontations are natural and should be allowed. If we suppress and stop confrontations, then emotions build up like dead wood waiting for a spark of conflict. By having arguments in a healthy manner, emotions are released instead of being allowed to build up and accumulate. Healthy, naturally occurring arguments can transform your child. Think of the ash and nutrient-rich soil that is produced as a result of these naturally occurring fires. Rich soil provides a fertile ground for seeds of all types and not just sequoia trees. In other words, you are not limited to encouraging your child to only make better decisions that affect his or her career. You can help plant seeds or ideas for other topics like health and well-being. A nutrient-rich environment will help your child grow regardless of what ideas, habits, and beliefs you deposit into the ground and in your child's mind and heart. Your child is not growing, then your child is dying. When growth slows down, stagnation sets in prior to decay. To prevent your child's growth from slowing down, you know how to model nature without a forest fire. You can help your child avoid total burnout and destruction with controlled burns. You know the benefits from naturally occurring arguments and conflicts, and you can look forward to the positive effects of clearing out old dead wood. Please try to remember the advice and wisdom of this post the next time you are naturally having an argument with your child. Share this post with your child so your loved one understands why naturally occurring confrontation is like a fire that can burn and give life at the same time. Bonus: visit Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park and explore the giant sequoia groves. Taking a picture of your children hugging a tree creates a wonderful memory of a family vacation. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun producing it. So take care, and I hope our paths cross again soon.